Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts by 14.5 Sunday at 4:25. We'll get this in the 4 o'clock window because they're hiding it because it's Cowboys Broncos. Elway versus Aikman.
Yeah, the team that Homer Simpson didn't want.
What was it?
Homer wanted to buy the Dallas Cowboys, and instead he was gifted the Denver Broncos, and he was upset by that. Back in the 90s when that made sense.
I didn't remember that. Sorry. Colts won 41-20 in Tennessee earlier this year. So the 14.5 point spread, well, they've already covered that back in week 3.
But now everything's different.
One of the first rematches of the year, along with Giants-Eagles this week. Rematch time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for in this one?
I mean, look, like you said, they've already covered that number. These are two vastly different teams in terms of, how good they are. I don't know how you're slowing down that Colts offense. It's an absolute beast. It's a juggernaut right now. It's crushing everybody. The Titans have got their work cut out to do that. I think the big thing is trying to figure out how to get more impact from, I've been not so much disappointed by Cam Ward's overall level of play, but the relative lack of explosive, exciting, high-end plays relative. I would have thought if you're going to get a Cam Ward season, rookie year, even when he struggles, it's going to be in the highly volatile spectrum of there's going to be a lot of big, there's going to be a lot of ugly, and somewhere in there you're going to get the baseline. It actually hasn't been that explosive at all. And you've had the occasional negative play in there. I want to see just cut loose. Go. Just go nuts.
Yeah, I feel like they've come and there's been one or two a game, to your point.
Yeah.
It's been early in the game. There's, we're seven games into the season here. There's been a bunch of games where it's first pass, second pass. Last week, by the second quarter, they had the bomb to DK. He had a nice little layered throw over the middle of the field. And then nothing after that as far as the big plays. But I want to see just more rhythm plays. I want to see more in rhythm, get the ball out of your hands. And as I said, where with Flacco, that you need a receiver to get open. You need dudes to get open to throw in 2.2, 2.3 and get. And if you don't have that in Tennessee, it's really tough to have the in rhythm plays. But that's what I would love to see from Cam Ward is more of that and the explosives. And look, if there's some turnover-worthy plays, fine. Don't let the ball slip out of your hands anymore, though. That's got to be that just can't happen.
Yeah.
Because if Ward's going to be the guy for Tennessee, even if he improves in all these other ways, if you have to worry about even just forget a weather game, we're talking about non-weather games, ball slipping out of your hands, that just can't be happening.
And he's spreading the ball around. He's not going any one place with the ball, target share wise. He's spreading it around. It's just not ironically, the only thing that he's sort of scoring or grading or showing up particularly well at is the turnover-worthy play stuff. Yeah, the ones that are there are horrible, just dropping the football.
Yeah, it's not in a high
but they're
volume,
not.
though.
Yeah, they're not coming particularly often, which I would have expected to be that. I thought the risk would be from him as a quarterback early would be to have a lot of those. Too many of those. But actually, he's been pretty careful with the football outside of a couple. He's almost been like Will Levis, when it happens, it's terrible. It's a meme play, but it's not happening that often. Yeah. And he's been better than Levis overall. But again, it's the same flaw in that where is the production?
Other thing for Tennessee, from their perspective, though I love the way the Colts have been playing up front, run blocking and everything, would have loved to see Quentin Nelson versus Jeffrey Simmons. Simmons is banged up, left last week early. Don't know if he's going to be available to play. And then with the Titans, everybody that might be available for trade, L'Jarius Sneed, Calvin Ridley, they're all banged up. Arden Key, they're all not practicing on Wednesday. Who knows if they're going to be out there or not this week. And then from Indy's perspective, offensive, there's no weaknesses on this offense right now. So what could a Daniel Jones implosion is the only thing that can slow them down. I'm not expecting it this week, but now we've got this stretch. Every week the Colts trying to prove that they're as good as they've played to this point. They're going to go to Pittsburgh next week. They've got the Falcons at home. Then they go to Kansas City coming off a bye. And so it's not this stretch with Tennessee. Assume they take care of business. They move to 7-1. That stretch, Steelers, Falcons, Chiefs. Going to be a big one, especially that Chiefs game coming up in about a month. Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action.
Cam Ward has been, like, his pressure to sack rate is atrocious. It's the only body worse, I think, than Lamar Jackson's. He has been sacked for 68 more yards than anybody else has lost on sacks so far this season. He's been sacked, losing 237 yards in sacks.
That's why I'm saying they need to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
Because the O-line, it's like there's been times where they've given up some quick pressure, but overall, the down-to-down's probably not bad for Tennessee.
Meanwhile, Daniel Jones, who for his career has been pretty bad at that generally, has only been sacked for 48 yards this season.
Yeah, and when you have people to throw to,
yeah,
you can get rid of the ball.
And a good offense,
and you protect the line. And the offensive line has been better. And that's another underrated story for the Colts. Like, think about what the investment that the Vikings made in former Colts up front, in Ryan Kelly and Will Fries, and the fact that the Colts offensive line hasn't missed a beat. They're better. Jonathan Taylor has about 100 more rushing yards than any other running back. He's got 10 touchdowns, and they have answers to everything. Tyler Warren has been a huge addition. The rookie's open every single week. He's great after the catch. They're moving him around. So love the creativity of the Colts offense. Love the way Daniel Jones is running it. Love the way they're running the football. Expect them to take care of business again in the Dome.
Yeah. I hate that the line is as big as it is, but I kind of feel like they're going to cover it anyway. One other thing. Would you want to see Cam Ward used more as a running threat? Like, he's not the most.
He wasn't really in college either.
I know. Like, he's not the most dynamic rusher in the world. But if somebody's looking at Jackson Dart and being like, that dude can be Tim Tebow in terms of running attack in this offense, Cam Ward's got that in him.
I believe unless you're Brady Breeze level of speed, unless you're that slow, everyone should be a threat on a keeper.
Yeah.
Once or twice a game.
He basically has Cam Ward effectively, I think, has 0 design runs this season.
Yeah,
He's got one technically, and I think it's a sneak or a kneel or whatever. Yeah. It's not a they basically looked at him and said he has no value.
I'm not running QB power or anything.
No, of course not. That's not what I'm saying. But like,
run a keeper, and he scrambles to throw. He doesn't scramble to run often, but clearly he's mobile. And then he buys a lot of time in the pocket, but you get far more negatives. That's the thing. Like, if you're going to have a high sack rate, you want to balance that out. Like Rodgers always had a high sack rate, but he also scrambled. Right. I mean, everything else was great, but he had a high sack rate, but he'd also scramble and pick up first downs with his legs a couple times a game as well.
Like, Jackson Dart already has 14 design runs in his few weeks starting. Like, why, again, you're telling me that Cam Ward can add value in that area of the game? Maybe let's tap into that a bit.
A little bit. Not too much.
Yeah,
Dart's going to lower his shoulder and, make some plays.
But I think
downhill as a runner, I don't think Ward's going to do that.
But I think he's more athletic. Like, again, I'm not expecting you to build the offense around him, but for a guy who's drowning right now, would you not give him a couple of cheap plays? Like, you talk about easy buttons all the time. How about we tap into an athletic quarterback's ability to run the football a little?
As many easy buttons as you can. A couple keepers here and there. That's all I want. Fun stat, though, from the research team, just so you have something to watch as a fan as we wrap up the show. Indianapolis in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 back, 2 tight ends, passing 63% of the time. That's first in the NFL. 9.7 yards per pass, that's third. And 72% of those passes are play action. When you talk about easy buttons or just the way you build your offense, think about Shane Steichen, go all the way back to what Philadelphia did in 2017. When they had a lot of 2 tight end sets. They had the Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert years when those guys were together. A lot of offenses over the last decade or so have done a good job playing big, but throwing out of bigger formations, 2 tight end formations, or even the teams, the handful of teams that use a fullback, but they don't use a fullback just to run. They use it to set up play action. The Colts are doing a really good job of big personnel to set up the pass. And I think that's just a huge part of all of their success.
Yep.
We're all taking Indy, me, you, and Harry.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?